Right. Well, hello and welcome, folks, to another exciting night of talking about credit banking, velocity banking, and the search for the lost American dream. So, this strategy that we're talking about, it goes by so many different names, but here on the Wise Guys and Ties, we refer to it as credit banking, but it's really using your accounts strategically. We'll give that a little bit of an explanation. But before we get into that tonight, either myself or Richie, we are not going to be acting as attorneys, accountants, or financial advisors, brokers, or other licensed individuals tonight. Now, even if we have those licenses, we're not going to be using them in this general capacity, in this general setting. Therefore, we always recommend that you engage the services of professionals when making decisions, especially that have legal impacts, especially financial impact. So we're going to do our best, but tonight it's entrepreneurs and fellow Americans to other fellow Americans, and just helping each other out understand these banking systems and these banking products. Because if we don't understand the products, if we don't understand the systems, it's very easy to be taken advantage of. But once we understand how to play the game, we can use that to our advantage. My name is Ray Fleming, and I'm one of the Wise Guys in Ties. You can reach out to us, 888-524-9273, or go over to wiseguysandties.com, where if you have been following us or you're intrigued with business credit, we have a Black Friday sale going on right now, so check that out. And tonight, you might be asking yourself, well, okay, what is credit banking? This is my first time here. Well, credit banking utilizes your budget surplus and revolving lines of credit to transfer highly expensive amortized loan interest into simpler and less expensive repayment plans. This plan radically decreases the total number of loan payments, which in turn reduces the total amount of interest paid, resulting in aggressively paying down that principal loan balance in about 1/3 the time. But of course, this does not just pertain to just mortgages or standard loans. This is just an entirely new way of thinking. So, to guide us through tonight, like he has been and doing an amazing job of that the last couple of weeks, man, Richie Galarz-Pankos, or Richie GP, we're just going to call you Richie GP. Is that good?
Yeah, sure, why not? I like it. It's so much easier.
RGP, because he's going to come and blow up what you've been previously thinking about as far as finances and set you on a trajectory to financial freedom. All right, Mr. Richie, come on out. And, you've been really helping a lot of folks do this, for quite a big period of time now. So about, 8 years or so?
Yeah, about 8 years or so.
And how many people would you say have been impacted by just this knowledge and really diving into just what you have helped put together? And
I have lost count, sir. It's in the hundreds, more than, geez. So think about the time when I was there, and I'd say about maybe 5 or 6 appointments a day when I was working at Sweep Strategies. And, think about like every single weekday that I worked. That's a lot of people, and, not only is it just helping people who became students, but also helping people to become students. That was one of my favorite things to do, was to see people say, wow, that the cost of the education is whatever it is, right? Depending on their situation and everything. Same thing for our education services. People look at that and they're like, oh man, that looks so expensive. I get that. And my goal was always to say, well, you know what? Let me show you how to create something for yourself to where now you look at something like that and you're going to be like, that's not so bad. So that's a lot of people, Ray. I can't, I don't know the number exactly, but I'm sure I would say, at least 500 or 600, at least.
excellent. Most excellent, sir. So what are we going to be talking about tonight, Richie?
Well, it's funny. what did we do last night, Ray?
We played cash flow.
We played cash flow. And I don't know if you guys ever played the game Cash Flow. I forgot to turn my light on. Give me just a second here. There we go. Yeah, I don't know if you guys ever played Cash Flow before, but Cash Flow, the game, is a game. And this is the fun thing about games, is that you get to practice the things that you learn on games, right? If you ever play a game, or if you ever played a sport or anything like that, uh, a lot of times it takes practice. And sometimes when it comes to credit banking and practice, we tend to feel like we don't have a practice field. And so when we play the game Cash Flow, uh, although the rules don't stop at a certain place, there's all these rules that we threw the rule book out, and we started playing the game the way we wanted to play as real estate investors, as financial strategists, and we start putting those things on the game to practice it. And I wanted to talk about that tonight because learning these strategies, it does take practice. It does take knowledge and applied knowledge. When you learn about it but don't do anything about it, because you're too scared or freaked out what the bank may or may not do, you're too scared about what your credit is going to do, you're too scared about what your cash flow is going to do. I like to play the game, and I invite you guys to play the game with us. In not like right now, or or but when you can, is to try and practice using these strategies on something else before putting it out there and using it on yourself. If you're still a little, I guess you could say, uneasy or uncomfortable about opening up a line of credit, dumping all your money into it and only taking out what you need for your expenses, and then maybe even taking chunks out of the debts that you probably have, or even doing a home equity line of credit debt buy, like the debt transfer from a mortgage to a first position home equity line of credit. It's good to practice these things before you start, doing it, and putting into practice, and sometimes just feeling uncomfortable doing it. I could tell you until I'm blue to the face that it works. I mean, that's all I can do, though. I could show you that it works for me. Ray could show you that it works for him. All these people could say it. And one thing that I learned after talking to all these people is that nobody ever believes you 100%. It's always, well, what if? And then it ends up, we end up hearing the same questions over and over and over again, even from the same person who asked them in the first place, which is really funny, which is not a bad thing, by the way. I just found it funny because I'm over here practicing it and they're over there thinking about doing it. So I wanted to give you guys a tool to practice it. And I just wanted to, show you different ways to, do it on a calculator. So the one that Ray offers on from Wise Guys and Ties, you could play with that calculator, practice it on there. Or you could, take a look at what we're going to be offering here pretty soon, which is something that's very dear to my heart, something that I've been working really hard on for the last, few months or so now, is a new website that I'm calling Level Up in Real Life. Level Up in Real Life is a tool for those who want to really take their finances and wealth strategies to the next level. And the beautiful thing is I am actually giving away level 1 to those who need to learn how to level up to level 2, meaning level 1 is meant for those who may have lower credit scores, cash flow is negative to, break even, and may have filed for bankruptcies, foreclosures, whatever. And I'm giving those strategies away to you on that website for anybody who wants to participate in that. All they got to do is just sign up, participate, and then they'll get all that for free. And if they want to level up to level 2, then they come back, and then from there it goes into these strategies that me Ray, Joey, and so many other people worked really hard on to get ourselves to this point. And now we're laying it out, or now I'm laying it out to you in other levels. So when you level up in real life, just like a game, right? I love playing games. I don't know about you, but I grew up playing video games. And some of the most fun things that I've seen is I used to play a lot of adventure games, or these very long and windy maze-like games like Super Metroid, or even regular Metroid, Legend of Zelda, and all these really awesome games in there. And it's like you reach to a certain point, and then you get this really awesome item that makes it easier for you to get out of your comfort zone again and fight the next level. Or if you're playing an RPG, a role-playing game like Final Fantasy or something like that, you're grinding, and then you level up, and then you get to the next level, and then you grind, then you level up, and you keep leveling up to the point where you're pretty much all powerful, and the final boss, your end game, is not as hard. So this is why I created this system called Level Up in Real Life, because when it comes to finances and dreams, a lot of people just like what Wise Guys and Ties is talking about. The American dream is lost, and everybody likes to stay at that one level, right? They just want to stay at that one level, and it's comfortable. And then when all the problems happen, the end game problems that are happening, such as healthcare, retirement, and all that other fun stuff, they end up having to go back to the grind to deal with it. Just like in a video game. If you're in a video game and you're not leveled up and you get to the final boss, you're going to have a bad time. So in real life, if you're staying at that one level, and then retirement comes, health expenses come, and all the other things that come along that make it a detriment for you to not to where you wish you were at a higher level, that you wish that you got yourself into a higher level before that all came, it becomes a hard thing. I mean, we see it all the time. Like, go to your nearest fast food restaurant. Seriously, right now, go. I'm just kidding. Go to your nearest fast food restaurant and look at the person who's serving you. Go to Walmart. Look at the person who's greeting you. Go to all these other places that are, like, I guess you could call them normal, regular job, types of easy job places. And what you're going to find is a lot of our elderly, a lot of our grandmas and grandpas who are supposed to be retired ended up getting into the point where they encounter their final boss, and they weren't leveled up enough, and so then they have to go back and grind again to get leveled up again. Does that make sense, Ray?
Yeah, no, it really does. It does. And the game analogy, because I mean, I played so many games, growing up, and it really is important to understand that, I was just thinking about, Mario, way old school Mario,
Right.
if I, got to have access to, like, some firepower or my little raccoon tail so I can, like, hover and float and fly. But it allows you to take a couple blows without, going out real quick. And if you're so small, you just take one hit and you're done.
Totally. Oh, I love that one. Yeah, definitely, just like Zelda too. I mean, you start with 3 hearts in that game. Those hearts are your health points, and depending on the type of enemy, if you get hit by something, a heart goes away or half a heart goes away. And if you get to the end game, one hit, all 3 hearts get taken away. You're dead, right? So the goal is to get more hearts and get more weapons, and upgrade the weapons and all this other crazy stuff. And yeah, so I hope that makes sense.
I got something exciting too that goes along this line, talking about, like, losing health points and things like that, which a lot of times, in order to implement this strategy, we didn't know how to properly manage our credit. We didn't know how to utilize our credit effectively. And that literally could take us almost out of the game. And so, we've lost, 2 of those lives when it comes to our personal credit. And so, tell us a little bit about this first stage, because we have a lot of folks on here who have ran into some troubles with their personal credit. And I was talking to a lady today, and she's paid for some services to help her repair her credit, But over a course of a couple of months, I mean, we're talking $500-600 it's going to
Oh,
cost her
wow.
to do some credit repair. And so, I don't know if it's a little bit too early, but I don't think it is too early to kind of spill the
No.
beans on what we got going on with this.
Okay, awesome. No, I'll love to explain this, and maybe I'll draw something up, but I don't know. We'll see. Just going off the top of my head here. So level one. All right, this is the part of level up in real life. There are 3 levels. Now it goes beyond that. It will go even further. But as we're starting with just 3 levels at this point. The more and more I do these trainings, and I'm putting them on video, and then uploading them into my drive before they go live on the website. It's like, wow, we could get up to like 5 or 6 levels actually, because of all the really cool things that this person can do at this level and what this person can do at this level. But even with all, as far as a dream goes, reaching that level to be able to take down that end game, it starts at level one. And the funny thing is, I've seen people, including myself, because you got to understand, I've been to all these 3 levels. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm putting it out there. That's why I'm pouring my soul into this. Is because I've been to all 3 levels. In fact, I've been to 3 levels and back up, and then back down, and back up and back down, because I wanted to experience it, honestly. Now that I've systematized it and kind of made it gameable, and when I say gameable, not only is it like playing a game, but being able to manipulate it in the way I want to. Um, I have that ability to trade between all 3 levels, or even beyond that, once I'm hitting those marks. And it's really neat to see the psychology of most people for when they're in level one or level two. Some people just stay there, and the reason why is because they're not knowledgeable, or they just don't feel like they have the American dream anymore. I don't know what happened in their life to let them lose that, and that's why I'm so proud and happy to be a part of Wise Guys and Ties, and seeing what they've been talking about in search of that lost American dream, and putting it back into our view. Level one gives us that ability to lay that foundation so you can finally see that American dream again, or create a brand new one for yourself. Level one starts with understanding where you're at. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's look at what's going on in our finances. And so what I do is I offer a free cash flow profile calculator to all those in level one. So before they take a look at the rest of the videos, they're going to learn how to fill out this cash flow profile calculator, and give them an idea of where they stand. And after all the people that I've worked with, uh, when I first, with my initial meeting with them, I would ask them, have you ever ran your own numbers? And 99.9999% of the time, they said no. I mean, have you ever run your numbers before, Ray, before you started really focusing on it? No.
No, I mean, like, yeah, up until I really got into this a few years ago, I mean, I had businesses before I didn't even run the numbers on. I didn't run the numbers on anything. Uh,
Oh,
and I
good.
like math.
Yeah, see, that's the thing too. A lot of people are traumatized by math for some reason. It's oh, I don't like math. I don't like numbers. Uh, just give me the baby, not the labor pains, kind of a thing. It's this instant gratification thing, and unfortunately, a lot of people are just torturing themselves at work. Or having a great time at work, depending on who you are and how you look at work. And they get out of it, they come home, and then just slap on cable TV or Netflix, or play a video game, and just shut down until the next day to do it again. Oh, and if they need groceries, they'll go out and pay for it. They got a budget of groceries, so to speak, or whatever's in the checking account at the time. They got their bills to pay, and it's just boom, boom, boom. Every single day, every single week, it's the same, same, same. And it's never anything driven, or beyond comfort. Okay. And the one of the things that I've learned in video games is that there's always an adventure, right? And that adventure always takes us out of the comfort zone. I remember the first time I played a role-playing game. It's called this game called Lunar on Sega CD. It was, about a kid named Alex, and he's got a little pet, bird looking like thingy, cat looking like thingy. That turns out to be something else later on. If I'm not going to spoil it for you guys who so want to watch play this game. And he's always dreamt about becoming a master adventurer like his hero Dyne. His name, the hero's name is Dyne, Dyne, and it was just the American dream, right? But then he's stuck in this small town where nothing happens, and all he was expected to do was just basically wake up, chop some wood, help around the house, and maybe go into the woods and play around with his friend Remus or his his other like adopted sister person. Her name is Luna. Now, see how detailed I'm getting into this video game. I know everything about this video game, dude. I love this game. And it inspired me though, because this is back in like early high school, where I'm playing this game and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I just feel like I'm on this island and nothing's going on with me. It's just this, I'm just going to school and then I'm coming home, and there's no real adventure. And then all of a sudden the game takes this kid Alex out of his comfort zone, because Remus had this brilliant idea to go to the White Dragon Cave to pick up a big diamond, because Remus is like this entrepreneur type of guy, and he just wants to get this big diamond so he can be set for life. And for all of us who have friends like that, or siblings like that say, man, we should do this, let's open up a bar, let's get a bar, let's open up a bar, let's do a business together, let's do this, let's do that. That's the Remus type. And Alex was just I don't know, maybe not. I mean, okay, you know what? I'm going to go with you. Let's go. And so they go. And then all of a sudden the adventure just erupts from there. Alex got taken way out of his comfort zone. He had to start fighting enemies, and then he started leveling up. And then enemies got easier, and then he started leveling up. And then the adventure goes on the way to the very end of the thing. And then eventually he becomes just like his hero Dyne. Now, that right there to me is the dream, to be there, thinking to yourself, man, I'm in this plain place, there's nothing for me, but I wish I could be like this person, or I wish I could be this, or I wish I could be that. And all it takes is a little kick or a nudge out of the door to go hunt for that diamond, and all of a sudden the adventure starts. And that's where I think real estate investing really piqued my interest, when it was like, wow, I mean, all of a sudden my dreams that I just shoved aside all of a sudden came back to life. And even though my dreams really started shrinking after a while, right? I'm in high school, and here's my dreams. And then after high school, it started shrinking. Now, okay, maybe this would be good enough. Oh, wait a minute. After college, maybe this would be good enough. And then while working, well, you know what? I'm not even going to get close to what I even want in the first place. Then I started learning this strategy, this credit banking strategy, and then real estate investing in a part of it. Then all of a sudden I saw this. Wow, I could go to Disneyland. That was my first dream, right? Like after all of this, big house, beautiful cars, and all this other crazy awesome stuff, all the way down to this, where I want to go to Disneyland. I never got to go to Disneyland, and I got to go to Disneyland. You know what I mean? And then level up. I'm going to go to Disneyland again, but I'm also going to be visiting, family, friends. And then we're going to have, all these other things happening for us. Money's going to come in, and we're going to keep making money, and we're going to build the dreams, and we're going to do this. And so now the dreams are getting big again because I leveled myself up. You cannot see, you cannot hit the target that you don't see. If you were in level 1, and for those who have a lower than average credit, anywhere between lower than average and average, if you've filed for bankruptcy before, if you've had a foreclosure on your record before, if you've dealt with any credit issues before that made your relationships with the bank look sour, okay, you know what, let me rephrase that. It makes your relationship with the bank appear sour. That's the key word, because it's just an appearance. If you're at level 1 and your relationship with the banks appears sour, then level 1, the videos are for you. It's going to give you some strategies to help you use the credit banking, velocity banking strategy to accelerate bringing that relationship from sour to favorable. It will also incorporate some of our other tools that we have available for you for free cost, by the way, where it could actually help you do some credit repair on that side of things. Now, it's not done by us; it's done by another company that we refer you to, but it's free of charge, legitimately, and in hopes that your goal is to get to level 2. All right. So level 2 is where, you may have some debts and you want to just level up between just working and paying things off, working and paying things off. You want to get yourself to level 3. So level 2 is a great start for foundational things and setting yourself up to, paying off debt at an accelerated rate and giving you the ability to see the dream even more. Right. But and then level 3 is where it goes into wealth building strategies, asset building, just all the amazing things that you can do because your knowledge is now peaking to the point where you're not just working, but you're working and dreaming at the same time and achieving all the things that you need to get those dreams coming true for you. So that's what level up in real life is about. But yes, level 1, that's where the foundation starts. If you're having an issue with credit, if you are going through a credit repair system that's costing you that kind of money, honestly, Ray has something better for you. you know, I can't. Yeah, I mean, I can't fathom needing to spend that kind of money to get your credit repaired. Honestly, I mean,
Yeah, it's but there's not a lot of options out there, and it's one of those things that if you don't have a relationship built with somebody that has a connection to somebody, then you're really at the mercy of whatever you can find. And the key to discounts is having relationships built.
absolutely, yes.
Because I mean, it's a huge currency. I think relationships is, I mean, if we're looking at a totem pole, I mean, cash is at the bottom. And then, I mean, then credit. And then, I don't know, what else do we got? So I'm trying to think. So at the very top is going to be knowledge, but in relationships.
Oh, gotcha. Thank you.
What's right in the middle? What's right in the middle?
So credit, money, time.
Oh, wait. No. Yeah, time's probably the most important. What is the most important?
Time is up there. For me, my opinion, time is because that's what the dream is to buy my time back so I could spend it, this very finite amount of time that I have on this earth, to spend it with the ones that I love, doing the things that we love doing. To me, that is the meaning of life. That's the present that we got, or the gift that we got, to spend it as fully as possible doing the things we love. That's my meaning of life. I don't know about you. And also being able to help others as well. I mean, in the meantime, it's just one of those things that, we don't know when it's going to happen. We don't know when our time is going to be taken away. But in the meantime, it's we do have a ticking clock. And just like a video game too, again, I always like to relate things to video games. Honestly, we have a ticking clock, and sometimes we hit that point where the music starts going faster. And then the Mario music is just going faster because you're running out of time. You got to get that level done. So, yes, time to me is the top priority for me, and then to make that time, I use my knowledge and my relationships.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
And that's a clear example
totally
because it's all interchangeable. That's exactly kind of, yeah, that's a really great way to put it. And time, relationships, knowledge, credit, cash, they're all interchangeable to help you get what you need. They're currencies. Yeah. So that's what's really powerful. But of course, we all want time back. because we all have, the same 24 hours in a day. Really. It's like, why
Yeah.
is one person able to do so much more with that time than somebody else? So,
It's I was in there. I was in that rut of, not one but two jobs. And, that time, yeah, it earned me money, but honestly, with what I know now, it wasn't worth it. It really wasn't worth it to spend all that time away from my loved ones and away from the things I love doing. It's it was mundane tasks. It was sitting in front of a computer doing all these really cool things. I learned a lot about the computers. I learned a lot about, editing softwares and calibrating monitors and, broadcast television and fixing people's computers and, whatever it was with the IT and broadcast stuff that I did. But it just wasn't it just wasn't fun. I kept thinking to myself, especially after my sister passed away back in 2012, just out of the blue, it was like, man, I don't want to spend more time away from my family because now she can't spend time with anyone. It it sucks to feel that way and to look at it in that way. So I started realizing there's got to be something better. Around that time, that's when I actually started looking into real estate investing anyway. um, and that kind of like bumped up my I guess my drive to learn more about it. Credit banking came 1 year later, through sweep strategies, and that's where the dream started opening up again. So yeah.
that's good stuff, though. Well, I mean, not the part about your sister, dude.
Yeah,
That's really
totally get it,
unfortunate.
man. It's so good. I mean, we always talk about, well, she's up in heaven, she's looking down on us, she's with us, and everything like that. And it really touches my heart to think about her sometimes out of the blue. But I always have this ache as well because one of the biggest things I noticed is that she was actually struggling a lot with her finances, and I think that basically elevated her stress, which probably contributed to her her heart attack. And I start thinking about, man, I wish I knew this stuff before then, so that way I may have been able to give her some tools to, may have saved her life if that were the case. If I were able to take that stress away for her, then you know then she wouldn't have had to go through this ordeal and ended up not waking up that night or that morning. And so think about the drive that I have now. Think about the people that I feel like, man, everybody should learn this because we don't have time. Uh, Everybody should learn this so that way we could alleviate as much stress as possible. And that way we could just eliminate one of those things that contribute to something so terminal. I want that for everyone, if at all possible. So maybe that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this, dude.
I know that that's why I'm into it. I know that's why Joseph was doing it because, Joseph, he had shipwrecked so much,
Hmm.
and I had seen my family get divorced because of finances. I mean, if you think about the stress and anxiety that revolves around finances, there's nothing more frustrating and stressful than finances, especially, and to top it off, then you throw a year like 2020 in the mix,
For sure.
and then it
Yeah.
just blows it all up. But as my parents got, went through a situation and money troubles and divorce, just because, and it all leads back to money and stresses of finances. Because if if you're stressed about finances, it's gonna spill over to irritability with your children, your family, and then that transfers to them, and then they transfer it to somebody else. And you know we talk
Yeah.
about world peace. World peace could be achieved if everybody understood credit banking and velocity
I
banking.
love it. Oh,
That's
that's
the way the world peace. We just solved all the world's problems. We just
totally.
figured it out. But it is a very it is very something it is something that is so weighing on folks. And I have seen and heard folks that have been tuning into this and learning these strategies and implementing it into their life and really taking it serious. And just hearing people talk about, oh, I was able to pay off this much in credit card debt in 6 months.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 2 years and I have 2 years left on my mortgage. I've eliminated $50,000 on my mortgage, making $50,000 a year in 2 years. And you just think, like, how's that possible? How
That's
is it
crazy.
possible? But it is, it really is. And then it's a life-changing event. And so, but I like to bring it back to where you were in the beginning. You were saying, hey, it's a little intimidating. It's a little bit scary to just jump straight in. How do you eat an elephant? You got to take these little bites. You got to first learn how to, probably you got to figure out where you're going to attack it first.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to strategize.
And so playing a game, or I shouldn't say playing a game, but practicing.
Yeah.
What does that look like? How could some folks start to practice besides, we talked about that in the beginning of level 1, they're going to get a cash flow calculator.
Yeah. Cash flow profile calculator.
Yeah.
I could show you what that is so that way you get a really good idea on what this looks like. I mean, there's so many others out there. I just like using this one, but with Level Up in Real Life, you'll get this one. You could use all the other ones too. It's fine. I've seen people use their Dave Ramsey calculators. I've seen people use, just things that just download from the internet and then it'd come up. Those are great too, but I just like using mine. So,
And the goal is to literally less than a week, or about a week.
yes.
A week from today. The goal is a week from
yes.
today.
We're hoping for, the 20, like the 25th is going to be the launch date. So again, so those who are working with Wise Guys and Ties, and following them in whatever medium that you follow them in, you guys are going to get first crack at it. You guys are going to have the first invites to all of this. So I'm not going to be inviting it to anybody else yet. So we're going to open that probably after Thanksgiving or so, or a week after Thanksgiving. But until then, it's just going to be all you, and see if you like it. And again, it's one of those things that I'd love to have feedback from you as well. So there will be times where if you want to provide feedback, I'll be creating a Facebook group that you could just, provide that feedback for, or you could just, DM me or Ray, and we'll go from there. But let me show you what this looks like so we could talk about practicing, okay? Let's see if I can share my screen without crashing. All right, you see that?
Yes, we could say.
Okay, awesome. All right, so again, just explanation of what level 1 is. So when we're talking about level 1, that is to improve the relationships with the bank. Okay. Now, when we think about the bank, that's the tool. That's the that's the, I guess, the faction that we want to actually kind of do our best to improve that. That's I guess, that relationship. And most people are so bought into the fact that if they just make regular payments or pay something off over time, then eventually the relationship or credit scoring will get better. And you know what? I'm not going to argue with that. The thing is, though, there are ways to make it gameable for you. And when I say gameable, again, to make it where you can manipulate it, for lack of a better term, manipulate it to a faster, more accelerated, I guess, goal to reach. And this is going to be a combination of using the credit banking strategy and credit repair. So with credit repair and credit banking at the same time, you'll be able to, if you're getting into the right position and you're using the strategy correctly. And whenever I talk to people and they ask me what's the success rate of using the strategy to improve credit or to whatever, I can never promise you that it's going to improve credit. Okay. I am not licensed to tell you that this will 100% work, but going by results and strictly on results, in my experience, it has worked. As long as it's done correctly, it has worked 100% of the time. Okay. I cannot stress that out enough, that I cannot promise you that it will work for you. I just know that from my experience and my history with others who have dealt with this, as long as they follow the process, it worked 100% of the time. If they didn't follow the process, it failed 100% of the time. So it's either one. Okay. I love binary choices because there's only two. You either do it or you don't, right? So when we have credit banking going, I guess, favorable reports, up to 5 times a month. Okay. And if there's any collections or any other thing that you have to deal with on the credit repair side, this could actually correct the reporting against you. So regardless if you're paying down debt, the reports will still kick out. That's what credit repair helps you with, is being able to correct the report against you. If a bank is, I spelled against wrong. If a bank is reporting you as if, even though you paid your bill, they're still reporting that you didn't pay your bill sometimes. And it irritates me to no end that banks keep doing this, or collectors, or whoever they are. They keep doing this, reporting to the credit bureaus even though things have been paid off. And eventually it will fall off after however many years, right? But the cool thing about this is let's say you did pay it off, or whatever that the credit repair thing does, and then they actually send love letters to that relationship. All right. So just fair warning, all you got to do is when you ruin a personal relationship, right? In some way, mistake, whatever it might be, a good start to repair the relationship is love letters, or a personal letter saying, I am sorry, right? It's the same thing with the bank, believe it or not. When your credit report appears to be negative, your goal is to make it appear to be positive by saying you're sorry. And the credit repair agencies will actually help you write those letters. And then once you write those letters and you get to the point where it's like, okay, I forgive you. Now I'm no longer reporting unfavorably to the credit bureaus to you. Then all of a sudden, that helps as well. Aside from your activity with the bank and building a relationship on your end, the credit repair agency will help you repair the things on the back end, things that you can barely touch. And we will refer you to a specific credit repair agency that has helped thousands of others that we know about. And they do an amazing job. And they are at no charge from them. Okay. You may, I don't know. I keep hearing other things because I've never done it before. Because I never really had to at this point. I had before a long time ago, but you may have to work with them on like a credit reporting, a third-party credit reporting thing. Is that right?
Yeah. So during the time that you're working on it, you have to have monthly monitoring.
Okay.
And I can't remember if that's $29.99 or $39.99 a month, but you have to maintain credit monitoring. That way, you can they can keep track of that.
Yeah.
Now they do have an optional. I believe they call it an audit, where they go through everything and then they can explain that to you. So optional $99 audit. not required. But if you want to have, things you can do outside their service on, tips and tricks and how to optimize your current situation, they can do that for you as well. It's kind of like personal coaching on
Right.
what to do with your specific situation. So, but yeah, that is, I guess, the only requirement through a third party having the credit monitoring service.
Right. So you don't need the audit. If you want to, you can, but you don't need it. But the monitoring, yes, that is required. But again, it's not charged by them. Otherwise, they will do the repairing process free of charge beyond that.
Yeah.
So
So what they do is they will evaluate, their team will check it out, and then they will find all those, like you said, those folks that need those love letters,
yes,
and they will compile that. And so they'll like get everybody together. Say there's 10 things on your Experian, then one letter to Experian will talk about those 10 things, and one letter to TransUnion. And all you have to do is print it out, mail it to where it's supposed to go. I believe, yeah.
you got to sign it too.
Yeah, you have to sign it. You also,
Yeah.
yeah, send like a photocopy of, your driver's license and some form of identification, something like
Yes.
that. But what's easy is they just kind of explain all that process and what that looks like and makes it really nice and smooth. But hey, if you guys don't want to wait until next week and get started on that, reach out. We'll start getting people rolling.
Yeah, that'd be great to be able to put you through that already. Do you know that you're not going to be able to have access to the level
Oh yeah,
one
so we're
videos
just gonna
yet?
wait then.
But you can go through the credit repair process. That should be no problem. So get that started, and then when the level one videos open up, then you could just go straight into that. So either way, I think work on it now, and then start building up from there. So call it level one half. So but yeah, that's what level one is about, is creating these you know just using the credit banking strategy. Follow the videos, follow the strategies that are in there, and I give options, and then this is what the cash flow profile calculator looks like. So it gives you that ability to just fill in, and this is for your eyes only. It's not like anybody looks at this. It's just for you. Don't send it to anybody unless you end up wanting to really work with somebody. Then you could do that way. I generally don't have people fill out the personal information, just maybe the credit score part if they think their credit score is whatever it is. And then we go through a process of self-evaluating. My employer pays me this much to take home, and before taxes or before take home. I have this amount of real estate, the value of it. In this particular one, I'm living there, so it's not bringing any rental income, but there are association fees. Here's a mortgage, and it's at 360 at 3.25. Payment is this much, escrow is this much, totaling $1,717 for my mortgage payment, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. I have some credit cards over here. I have let's say I open up a personal line of credit, and this is what it would look like if I spent 23 or almost $23,000 at a 15%. It would cost me $292.90 in interest alone. And here's my living expenses. So therefore, after all is said and done, at the end of it all, you just pop in all your living expenses and just follow the directions. These are all monthly costs. And these are the property tax and insurance things that are not paid towards a mortgage company already, because we already have that listed up above in escrow. And then you got all your living expenses. You can list down whatever. This is your budget, basically. And then at the end of it all, what we see is our total income, take home pay. This is our fixed expenses, which is what the bank sees as debt service payments every single month. And when I say what the bank sees, it's basically what's being reported to your credit, to the credit bureaus. So whenever you go and apply for anything, the bank is going to pull that, and they're going to find out what your monthly debt service is. And then what they're going to also do is ask you for your pay stubs, or your 1040s from the last 2 years, to prove that your debt to income ratio is your total income versus your fixed expenses. Then you got your living expenses, which what the bank doesn't see, and that's totally 100% adjustable by you. And then at the end of it all, we're seeing a cash flow, after all expenses are paid, this is what is left over. I know that this is pretty high because I was just running somebody else's numbers as an example with it, just to show them how to, pay for certain things. Like, one of our education services, they wanted to pay for it, and I showed them how to use this strategy to pay it all off. And you learn that in level 2 and level 3. Actually, it's pretty cool. And then over here on the right side is what the bank sees. The average ratio is about 45%, which is basically across the board, across the nation, what banks see as the I guess the most debt to income ratio that they would actually risk. Anything below that, they would approve. Anything above that, they would decline. And so in this person's situation with the mortgage, the income, and the line of credit and the credit cards, this debt ratio is 36% right now. And they have up to another $567 to show as monthly debt service to hit the 45%. So details, right? But the goal is to teach people about these things. It gives them the ability to say, you know what, I know exactly what I need and how much it's going to cost me, or how much I'm going to be able to be approved for when I walked into a bank or I walk into a financing thing to get the product that I want. If I'm going to go and buy a car or lease a car, these calculators will give you that ability to get proficient at running your own numbers and saying, this is what I can afford, this is what I cannot afford, and this is what the bank sees. And that's it. Once you're in level 1 and you know how to run your numbers, you're going to be in a better level than 99.999% of other people that I've helped personally, because they don't run the numbers, right? So level 1 is learn how to run your numbers. Level 1 is getting into the realm of credit correction or relationship correction with the banks. And level 1 is to set that foundation to get into level 2 or level 3 beyond that. Okay. So hopefully that explanation of level 1 helps. Was there anything else there, Ray, that you needed to, or is there any questions on that?
No, I thought that was really great, but something that's very important to understand about this. Now, it's some people think of this term in certain ways. I think of it in one way as well, but there's something that we have heard, the law of attraction. But what that really means to me is that when you focus on something, it just expands. When you think about something, it expands. For example, if you've ever gotten a new car, all of a sudden you're like, whoa, everybody else has a Honda Civic. Well, and then probably if you never had a Honda Civic, you still think, wow, everybody has a Honda Civic. But I remember my mother got a yellow Volkswagen Beetle, a newer one. And then I started seeing yellow cars everywhere. And I said, I didn't even know anybody had a yellow car. And it was one of those things that once it comes to your attention, then you start to see things differently. And so the same as with the calculator. When you actually look at your finances, you'll start to notice things that you never noticed before.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start to focus on it and pay attention to it, it starts to expand. And then it becomes one of those things where you just can't get rid of it. And my wife, she has this lovely saying. She's like, oh, Ray, I went to Target today. And I'm like, oh, okay. How much did we spend today, Jane? And she's like, no. We saved a lot of money. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. Is this like we went to the casino and saved the money because we didn't go into the casino? And she's like, oh, no. I got this and I got this and I got this. I saved like $50. And I'm like, technically we spent 100, we just didn't spend 150. But that's the way that I see it. That's the way that I see it. And some of you are probably like, man, you're such a pain in the butt, Ray. I'm be like, well, it's just the way that I've had to learn my mind, because I used to get pulled in by a lot of certain things. And now I'm like, okay, if it's the right value, then that's good. If it's something I need and it's a good value, excellent. Let's do the deal. I mean,
Mhm.
if value exceeds cost, we do the deal all the time. But, sometimes, we just aren't paying attention to that. And so putting things into a calculator, looking at our monthly bills, looking at what we're actually spending on coffee and going out to eat and things like that, it allows us to at least double think and say, do I need that? Or could I use that for something else that would be a little bit more effective that I might actually get more pleasure out of? Like sometimes skipping one meal, going out, so I'm not saying deprive yourself of everything, but like let's say we're going out to eat twice a week. Maybe if we go out to eat once a week, and that satisfaction of seeing those balances falling, that can be more gratifying than that meal, because that can actually last for weeks where I'm like, whew, God, we started this call and I was like, drop that on. And so there's like 6 cards between my wife and I, and we just kind of charge stuff up, but bringing that all back to zero. I get so much pleasure out of that now, because there was so long, there was 15 years of my life where that wasn't possible. so
Wow.
now, so now I'm like, oh, that's so exciting. Let's
Oh, that sounds
let's
so
just keep
fun,
doing
dude.
that.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
exciting.
I know it's become normal here. Like it's almost anytime there is an expense, it's just wiped out. So um, and I'm not in the process of trying to build the credit. I'm just in the process of paying down now. So you'll learn in our process of level up in real life that you're going to be bouncing between certain levels. So um, and give you permission to drop down to level one again. There's nothing wrong with that. The reason why is because you already learned how to get out of it and level up to level 2 and level 3. There's nothing wrong with starting the game over, right? You just hit the reset button and play again. But you know now what not to do. you know you know where to jump correctly to level 8-1, I think it is, where there's that long gap and a tiny sliver of land, and then jump and then get up to the flagpole from there. I don't know if you remember that particular level on Mario 1, Super Mario Brothers 1. But anyway, so no, Ray, I totally agree with you that not only is it this that attraction, that favorable portion of it, of being able to see what's going on, to be aware of financing and everything like that, but also you're going to get out of your comfort zone. A lot of people find running their numbers super uncomfortable because it's a
Mm.
reflection. Sometimes it's like ooh, I'm looking into a mirror and I'm not liking what I see. But sometimes people just don't want to look at the mirror. Some people just don't want to look at that reflection because it makes them feel uneasy, or they don't want to punish themselves at that moment, or whatever it might be. But you would be surprised too, to just go ahead and write it out and see, actually, like, wait a minute, where is that money? What, it says that I should have this much, but I don't see it. Something's wrong here, or something is 100% right. You just need to massage it a little and practice it a little to really realize that is in fact true, right? There's so many different things, and about comfort zone. There's so many different things about, like, wanting to not go out of comfort, to just keep living that level that you've been in all these years. I'm trying to get you out of that comfort zone. I'm trying to help you. I'm Remus and Lunar. I am nudging Alex out the door to help me find that diamond. Okay, come along and we could share it, kind of a thing. You want a friend like that. You want that friend who's going to get you out of comfort zone, and he's gonna drag you over to places that you never thought possible. But the cool thing about it is well, I hope if I could share my screen again, it doesn't crash me. Let me know if you see it.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Comfort zone.
Yes, perfect. Okay, so this is typically where we all start. This is level 1 right here. This comfort zone is where we stay. This is our tiny thing. And you know what's funny? This is our dreams, or what used to be our dreams. In fact, it should just be like this transparent circle, because you don't even dream anymore. You don't see anything beyond this wall right here. But what's really out there is this. This is your dream. You being in level 1 is not going to help you with that dream. Okay. So what you need to do is level up to level 2 out there. But what do you need to do to get out to level 2? You got to get out of that comfort zone. You got to break open that little area right here, step out of that comfort zone, and then get into level 2. And then when you're in level 2, now all of a sudden your comfort zone expanded, because you no longer are in that little doorway anymore, or that little circle anymore. This is now your comfort zone, because you've gotten to that point. It's now simply easy to be in level 2. It's easy to just have a system in place where debt is being paid off, and you're chunking away at your big expense, whether it be your mortgage or your auto loan or your student loans, or you're flipping it all into a big line of credit and then attacking it and doing some amazing things. And then eventually it's going to be like, well, you know what? I got to get to level 3, because level 3 is where that wealth building stuff happens. But you got to get out of this comfort zone again. And it's a lot more uncomfortable, because it's something that you've never thought of. You never dreamed of being able to get into. So once you step out of level 3, step out of level 2 to level 3, all of a sudden this becomes comfortable. And then now that you're in level 3, you get to visit that dream, go back to work, visit that dream, go back to work, visit that dream, go back to work, and so on and so forth. You get to play around. Eventually it's going to get to the point where you're hitting that end game, and now all of a sudden this is you. And what's really cool is that you could actually share this dream with your loved ones, or any charity that you wish after the inevitable happens. But wouldn't it be neat? I mean, think about where you were before. This little circle over here. This little tiny thing was you. Then all of a sudden, this is you. This is what I strive for every day. So level up in real life is about that. Level 1, level 2, level 3, and then end game. So far, there may be level 4 and level 5. I'm just not sure how I'm going to brand it yet, but I'll get to that point. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to share today, and to practice in understanding where you are right now is to get yourself a cash flow profile calculator, and then get out of that comfort zone and put it on paper and see what it looks like. I'd say that would be a great first step for everyone, to get yourself out of whatever level you're at, and to move into the next thing. So, ta-da.
Excellent. Thank you, Richie. That was perfect. That was excellent. So tonight was a little bit different, but it's important to understand that next week, this is going to be huge. This is going to be something more than what we've been able to offer before. So before we were able to offer, 30-minute consults, but this is much more intense. This is going to be really hands-on. And like Richie said, this is so you can become proficient to help your family and friends. Like, you can be that change, and that's our goal. And if it first takes you putting yourself through the ringer and then figuring it out and then bringing somebody along with you, that's what it's all about. So I'm excited. Look forward to next Tuesday when we debut. Something's going to be there. Something's going to be, we'll be here with something for sure. Also, once again, if you've been interested in different aspects of business credit, go over to the Wise Guys and Ties channel. Check out the Black Friday sale. I guarantee you it'll blow your mind. But other than that, tell your family and friends that next week is the option of choosing a certain path, and you get to choose your path. And then
Yes.
as you go down this, you get to choose. This is all about you. It's all about you and the paths you want to choose. Up to this point, a lot of these paths have already been chosen for you without you realizing. This is a chance to take back control and choose your destiny. I think about Home Depot. I was walking down a corridor in the door section, and it came to mind that, hey, if I'm on this corridor, there's a lot of doors that I can take. And I think about that now because I have the knowledge and I have the relationships and I have the time. And, this is what it was, a Tuesday at 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm at Home Depot because that's what Ray does sometimes. My wife goes to Target, I go to Home Depot. And, so, I'm looking at doors, but then I go into the next side with pipes and with plumbing stuff. And I was like, there's no doors over here. And sometimes you just don't even know that there's another place that has all these doors of opportunity unless somebody showed you that that's what was there. So next Tuesday, we're going to show you that corridor with some doors, and you get to pick which ones you want to go through. So
Indeed. Also, if you guys want to join us, I don't know if you're up for it, but
yes.
yeah, Monday. Monday at what time is that? 7 Mountain?
Yeah, let's
Or
is there a way to like share a screen or show where somebody could go, how
yeah,
they could get on?
let's see if we can.
This is crazy cool, guys. I had so much fun last night, and
Me too.
I was just thinking about that last night from the comfort of my own home. Partnered up, 5-way deal on an apartment complex. Purchased a rental property. Created $700 of cash flow. It was exciting.
That
It was
was
super
so
exciting.
fun. All right, so talking about gaming, if you wanna watch us have some fun as a group, go to twitch.tv, and what I want you to do is check out the channel. You can just search over here. We just started it. All right, so you can check out Level Up in Real Life. Sorry. And that's us. Level Up in Real Life. And this happens in next week. So it's going to happen every single Monday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Oh, it's already playing.
What was that?
Oh, never mind. That's not me.
Oh, yeah.
It's
it was
on my
something else, I
computer.
think. But we don't have anything going on right now. It's offline. But every Monday, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, you guys can come and watch us play Cash Flow. And this is what it basically looks like. This is a clip that I took. I don't know if I'm sharing my sound. Give me just a second. Let me see if I could share my sound here.
I'm going to throw this link up on YouTube right now. It will be in the description of tonight's video.
Very nice.
So Twitch TV, I'm going to throw it up on YouTube and in Zoom right now. If you want to copy this link,
put a certain amount down, maybe 130, 140. He could pay the rest over time, and you could have been a money on that the remaining part of the money that was there, cashed out, not take the money in one shot. You get paid over time, make some cash flow, and actually you could have probably even upped the price of the deal instead of selling it to him for 40. On paper, you could have said, "Look, I'll."
Yeah, so that was just a small clip of us playing of one of our master real estate investors, Landon, just kind of going over just many different strategies on just one deal. If you ever play that game, it's super fun, but you're going to see us actually playing like full on, yeah, so you should really check it out. So yeah, thank you, Ray, for popping that link up. So yeah, that's what it is. If you check out the link, it'll go straight to this channel, and we'll be live next Monday, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and every Monday, unless there's some kind of big holiday or whatever. But what we plan on doing is having not only ourselves playing, but we're gonna have the chat up, and if anybody has any questions or, want to participate in these things, then by all means, just go ahead and chat away on the chat box. It's really fun to see what people might have in their mind, like what I would have done if I ran into this kind of deal or whatever. And, it's just so fun. So if you want to practice, that's another way of practicing, these financial strategies on a board game, but even real estate investing and entrepreneurship and wealth building strategies on the board game before you take it in the real world with real money. It's great to practice on the board game. And we do this we're going to be doing this every Monday because of Level Up in Real Life and Wise Guys and Ties and all the amazing things that we got going.
I'm excited. This is good stuff. I tell you guys, this is going to blow your mind because Joseph and I, we literally would play cash flow twice a week at least. Like we'd set up at restaurants, at coffee shops, at the office. And literally for the first year and a half of us really working together, all we did was play cash flow. We hadn't done a single real estate deal. We hadn't really done much. We lost a lot of money in cash flow. We lost a lot of money and we put a lot of deals together. We saw a lot of things go south. We lost properties. But what we learned there, I 100% put towards the reason that we haven't lost anything today. That's what's powerful. Lose it in the game. Practice losing it before you actually lose in real life.
Indeed. And, we played with the credit banking strategy on here as well. So get to play with it, get to mess around with it. And I don't see people losing money in that though. It's just so yeah, thank you so much, Ray. I really do appreciate your Tuesdays. I really do appreciate you guys and Wise Guys and Ties. I love you guys so much. Tuesdays are like my favorite days.
Well, thank you, Richie. And thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. We look forward to seeing you on Thursday and, really coming to you more regularly. And we'll see about potentially getting a small clip, maybe a 3 or 4 minute clip of that game. And that way you guys can see a little teaser of that. And then we'll put that link out available for everybody. That way you can plug in this coming Monday. It goes live 7 or what time do we go? Like 7 p.m.ish, like 7:30ish.
We went live at 7, but we didn't start the gameplay until later because our guy, or I guess you could call him our engineer, he was working on everything in the background to get it all set up. But once it set up, we rolled along. We played almost 3 hours. So
probably, yeah, we were there for 3 hours, and yeah. I will do that. I'll do it every Monday. You're like, so excited. That's crazy. It's good stuff.
So good.
All right, everybody. So much, good to see you. Good night. And God bless.